What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb? Today is Friday, February 16th, 2024, and this is Play By It, the show where I bring you the best PlayStation news in a tiny bite-sized form. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. As I had mentioned in this week's community post, Friday's Play Bites are taking a different turn moving forward. Instead of just talking about a single news topic, we're going to round up all the smaller news topics and then have the big topic right at the end. So if you're here just for specific topics, here's the timestamps. Go check them out. We're also going to be introducing a weekly Helldivers topic where we talk about all the Helldivers news and everything that's happened over the past week in the lore. But without further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, PlayStation Plus. This month's free games are Foam Stars, Roller Dome, and Still Rising. We also know what this month's PlayStation Plus Premium, Extra, and Essential games are for February. On the PlayStation 5 side of things, we're getting Assassin's Creed Valhalla, LEGO Jurassic World, LEGO Worlds, Need for Speed Unbound, Roguebook, Rogue Lords, Tales of Arise, Tales of Hysteria, and The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition. We are also getting new classics. We're getting Jet Rider 2, Resistance Retribution, Tales of Symphonia Remastered, Tales of Vesperia, and they also told us what games are leaving. We're losing Ace Combat 7, Q, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, Lost Words, Oninaki, Resident Evil 7, Tacoma, Tekken 7, and Thomas Was Alone. This is honestly probably the biggest month we've ever had for PlayStation Plus on the extended tiers. Resistance Retribution alone sells it for me, and this is really kind of our first major PSP game that we're getting, at least our first major first-party PSP game, so maybe that gives hope that, you might see Daxter on the service, and even Jak and Daxter the Lost Frontier. And I'm definitely really excited for the games that are coming for PlayStation 5. I'm definitely going to jump into Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Need for Speed Unbound. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was one of the games I got day one when I got the Xbox Series X. Because if you didn't know this, I day one both the Series X and the PlayStation 5. I got them both at launch. Wasn't a lot of games out, and the Xbox came out first. So I got Assassin's Creed on that. Played the game. Got really fed up with it. I'm going to be real with you. I got really fed up with it towards the end. But, it's been 4 years. I'm going to give it another shot. And then, of course, Need for Speed Unbound. This is actually the final game I ever bought on the Xbox Series X. I don't see myself buying another physical game on the console. Actually, that's a lie, because I will get Forza and the exclusives that are remaining. I will get them physically because who am I to pay for Game Pass? I'm not doing that. PlayStation Plus is already $180 a year. I'm not paying double that for Game Pass and that. That's ridiculous. And now, on to Helldivers. Over this past week, at the time of recording, if it's been updated since then, obviously the screenshot will reflect that. But Helldivers passed 246,000 concurrent players on Steam. That is more concurrent players than Valorant. That is more concurrent players than Call of Duty. That is more concurrent players than Rocket League. That is more concurrent players than literally every single game that's out right now, with the exception of Fortnite. And if you factor in the PlayStation 5 players, right now Helldivers 2 is seeing well over 500,000 players online at once, which is perfect because this week in the Helldivers 2 lore, we failed to liberate several planets, and the robots are attacking everywhere. The Great Battle of Malevelon Creek happened. We got our asses kicked, alright? And now the robots are invading all our liberated planets. They're threatening Super Earth. Lives are in danger. We gotta jump back in and fight this weekend. Which is actually a perfect time to mention that this weekend, starting as of the time of this video's recording, and obviously it's already happening by the time it goes live, we are getting 50% more XP and requisition within Helldivers 2. So perfect time to go back and get in the fight, soldier. And now with the weekly segment out the way, let's get into the smaller news of the week. First things first, Bloober Team's kind of mad at Konami. So the trailer that we saw at the State of Play for Silent Hill 2 is apparently years old, and Bloober Team was not too happy about that. They were actually very upset at Konami for it. Obviously, because it doesn't reflect the state of the game currently, so it's kind of bad advertising for a game that is slated to come out later this year, which is why we didn't see a release date at the end of it, which makes sense because this is like a year and a half, 2-year-old trailer. Why did Konami choose to do that? I don't know. Sega is in dire straits right now after the holiday season financially was very sluggish for them. They are bracing their investors, basically told them the past week that, hey, things aren't working out the way we planned. We're hoping that games are going to start selling, and we're just going to have to see how it goes. That's essentially what Sega told their investors. Thankfully, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is doing phenomenal. I think what really hurt Sega over the holiday season was two things. Sonic Superstars, great game. It looks cool, but it's a 2.5D platform. That is not a $60 game, especially from Sega. That was like a $25, $30 game at most. And then, Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. I mean, not having a physical edition for a series that is very, very big on physical, that definitely hurt the sales of that game. I mean, seriously, Yakuza fans are so crazy about this series that we begged and pleaded them to give us a physical copy of Yakuza 5 on the PlayStation 3, and they did it no disc, just a case. Why didn't you make that game physical? Now, thankfully, I've been a weeaboo ever since the year 2001 when I discovered Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! So obviously that meant I took Japanese in school. I took it from 6th grade to the end of college. Nihongo wo nashimasu, so I imported the game that way. I shouldn't have had to do this, Sega. This should be in English. I shouldn't have had to gone to Japan just to get this game. But I digress. And actually really exciting news, Respawn is working on a Mandalorian game. These are the developers of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, so I know these games are going to be straight bangers. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like when they finally reveal it. And now onto the big topic, which is really concerning the future of PlayStation. We are now 39 months into the console generation, almost 4 years exactly. The PlayStation 5 is about 5 million units behind the PlayStation 4. Now obviously this is expected, this is not something to be bothered by, this is not something to be concerned about. The PlayStation 4 just had better games at this point in time. At this point in time on the PlayStation 4, when the PlayStation 4 was about 4 years old, we already had Horizon Zero Dawn, we already had Uncharted 4, and tons of other games that were PlayStation 4 only. PlayStation 5 didn't really get started until Spider-Man 2 back in October. That was the very first game that was PlayStation 5 only, and didn't see a PlayStation 4 release. So I do expect this gap to continue to close. I'm not going to say they're going to close it in any sort of time frame, but I do expect them to close it and then surpass the PlayStation 4 by the end of the console generation. We're really kind of kicking up into things, but that might not happen anyways because Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki stated that PlayStation 5 is in the end of its console lifecycle. It is in the latter stage. It's definitely a little early to be going into the late stages of the PlayStation 5, unless he's referring to the PlayStation 5 being sunset and then the PlayStation 5 Pro coming up, because I could see that being the case. So I'm assuming that's what he means, like PlayStation 5 being at the latter life cycle. He also stated that Sony is going to miss their 25 million units sold margin that they had put out for the fiscal year, and they've readjusted that to 21 million. The stock price kind of plummeted after that, but 21 million is still a lot of consoles, especially for a console that's really only just now getting kicked into high gear. In Q3 fiscal year 2023, they shipped the most consoles of all time for a PlayStation console, which is kind of interesting because they're not going to meet the 25 million, goal, but they did really good still. He also stated that we are not going to be seeing any new PlayStation first-party games released before March 31st, 2025, which some people are freaking out over, but I don't think it's really that big a deal because that is a year away, and that time frame from now until then, we get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we got Helldivers, we got Stellar Blade coming out, and we got all these other remakes and remasters coming out throughout this year. So if we're not going to get a first-party established franchise game until next year, it doesn't really make a difference because there's plenty of new IPs they can drop. Santa Monica's got a new game, Ben's got a new game, they're about to hit 6 years of development on that game, so we should be seeing that pretty soon. And now the biggest news of the week, PlayStation has stated that they plan to go third party. That does not mean they're going to put games on Nintendo and Xbox. That means they're going to start going more aggressive with PC. Hiroki specifically said they want to go aggressive with computers, so there's nothing really to worry about there. Having PlayStation games launch day and date on PC isn't really going to harm the console, I don't think, but it might be a little weird. So I do expect it to be more like another year, 2-year cycle before we get those games, and then anything that's online focused, I feel like we are going to get on PC, and all these established games that have been out for a while will probably start moving their way over to PC. Like the big ones that come into mind, like in general, are Gran Turismo, the Jak and Daxter collection, Ratchet and Clank collection. Things that we aren't really going to be hurting if we see it on PC, because I mean, it's games we would have emulated anyways. But what I'm interested in is the fact that there could be a potential PlayStation launcher to compete with Steam and the Xbox launcher, which would be the smartest thing that they could possibly do. With that being said, that's all the news for this week's Friday Play Bite. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it. Do you think it was worth it? Are you jumping into Helldivers for these new XP stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out today, and I'll see you in the next video.